just living alone has helped me to be much more independent. You might be a considerate person, but does that mean other people are considerate? Some people are not considerate. Get to know yourself better. And I feel like this is, for me, this is the most important. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Buki. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. Please make sure you turn on post notifications and you also subscribe to the channel so you do not miss any update from me. And if you're an old subscriber, thank you for returning. Thank you for stopping by. So on the channel today, in fact, I have been enjoying, I love sit-down videos. I really now want to always speak, like talk into the camera. And today I just need to have like a little bit of like chit chats with my girls, my sisters, my babes. And today we'll be talking about the benefits of living alone. And this applies to people like, in their 20s, in their late 20s, their 30s. And I also fall within that category. So I felt like I'll be the best person to come and share things about the benefits, my own experience as well, and just talking about living alone as a babe. While I understand that not everybody might have the luxury or the privilege to live alone in their 20s, because some people, from school, they go to what's it called, from their parents' house, they get married, they might not have, the opportunity to live alone. I just feel like if you have the opportunity, you can afford it, or you have parents that can also like sponsor that, then I would really advise you that you need to live alone for a while. Trust me. Personally, guys, I enjoy living alone, and I've had the opportunity, when I finished from Ukraine, I went back to Nigeria, and I was doing my house job and all of that, I was living alone for the most part. I think one of my parents, would come once in a while to the house I was, but I had the house to myself, and I was able to learn a lot about me. And even after leaving Nigeria as well, coming to America, I got to America in 2021, and this is 2024. When I came initially, obviously for 3 months, when I was still trying to get my apartment, I was with some of my friends. And I knew, even my father knew, that I had to live alone. I didn't want to have to go through the stress of, so while I was looking for my apartment, I kept that in mind that, Buki, no matter what, it might be much more expensive, may God provide, but you have to live alone. You're here for school, you do not want any distractions. I'm getting somewhere. So you have to live alone. And thankfully, I found an apartment, and I'm still at that apartment right now. I found an apartment that was just so perfect for me, a 1-bed, 1-bath apartment. Now let's get into the benefits of living alone. The very first benefit of living alone, in fact, before I get into the benefits, people say, oh, living alone might be boring. I feel like there are more pros than cons. If you enjoy your own company, I don't think there wouldn't be cons of living alone, but obviously we are different. I don't see, maybe the only thing is when I'm going grocery shopping and having to carry and lift those bags myself, but whoever died of carrying or lifting heavy bags. And that's also another benefit, because you get to be independent, but we're getting there. So the very first thing is that privacy. You have your privacy. No one is meddling into your business. No one is stressing you out. It's just you, you're security conscious. No one can leave your apartment door open. You everything, from even the things you do, you can have conversations, private conversations with people, so privacy is a major benefit. Having your own privacy as an individual is a major benefit of living alone. I am so thankful. I can even walk in my apartment naked, do whatever it is I want, and also, if you have a partner that, is coming to visit you, it could be a struggle if you had a roommate or you're sharing an apartment with someone, because there might be no privacy, right? And, that sometimes might cause stress in some relationships. So privacy is a major benefit. And I feel like as we are growing old, except for maybe when you're in your husband's house, you need to have time to enjoy privacy, to be able to learn and just be by yourself. The benefit of living alone is your space is your space. You're able to properly think, you're able to do things how you want, you're able to decorate your space to your taste, you're able to eat what you want, plan how you like. You can even decide that you want to put your clothes on the floor. Like, I'm not saying it should be unkept or scattered, but I'm just trying to say, like, your space is your space. Like, not necessarily, but let's say your sanctuary. You do what you please when you want to do certain things. No one is putting you under pressure. You're able to do things at your own pace. You're able to decorate. If I decide that, okay, I want to do a spring cleaning right now, I do. If I want to, whatever it is. But if you're staying with somebody, or if you're staying with people, right, you have to be considerate, because I cannot be with people and not put their feelings into consideration, or not always consider. For example, like when I was in my undergrad, so I had like, two flatmates. Even though my room was the biggest, it was quite spacious. And guys, I had a fridge in my apartment, in my room, sorry. I had my microwave in my room. And then the apartment came with like a general fridge and also like microwave. But guess what? I would, because we're three sharing the major fridge, do you understand? I'll try as much as possible. I wasn't using the fridge with them, just, so that I was just being considerate basically. But yes, I was in the freezer with them. I still had my own freezer, but I would just ensure that the things I put in the freezer so they could have more space, because it was for three people. Do you understand? And then I would always use my microwave as well, or just try to ensure that I wasn't, stressing them out. And that was me being, it wasn't stress, but I was just being considerate that, I have to flatmates and I have things that I can also use like for myself. So your space is your space. And you also have control over everything that happens in your apartment. If you're staying with somebody, they could do something. There's some things you wouldn't have control over. Like, what can you do about it? They might get you upset. What can you do about it? Even though I understand that when you live with people, you're able to learn how to manage people, how to control your emotions, But even when you're living alone as well, you also learn how to control your emotions in certain areas. One other benefit of living alone is that you're independent and you're responsible for yourself, you guys. That is something. I've always been responsible. I've always been independent. It's not like independent woman. No, yeah, independent woman, but not like relationship. Please, I have to be dependent on my partner. Please. But I'm the first child, so naturally that comes with some form of like, independence, wanting to be able to sort things like by myself, for my siblings and people, like, the firstborn syndrome, right? But just living alone has helped me to be much more independent, in the sense that, like, I'm like, okay, you know what? It is you, yourself, and you. It is you and your destiny. As you lay your bed, that is how you lay on it. So it's like, I'm trying to do things. I'm not waiting for people. When I have to go grocery shopping, I'm sorting it out. When I need to call the electric, like, just being independent. And it has really equipped me with so many skills when it comes to decision making, when it even comes to communication, and so many other things, even like interpersonal skills. For example, like, I have, neighbors when I need certain things, and when I need to communicate with like people in my apartment, like my apartment complex and all of that. So just being here by myself, like living alone, has helped my being independent. Like, for me, I do what I like. I don't wait for nobody. And that has being independent in my personal space, living alone, has also transfers to like my relationship with other people. Like, I don't wait for nobody. I don't wait for, when I want to travel, when I want to do whatever it is, I do. I'm on the move. I sort things out by myself. I do not wait for anybody. So that's something I'm like super, 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 super grateful for. Another benefit of living alone is that there's sanity, guys. Imagine going to work or going to school. Let me use school as an example, because I got this apartment when I was a student, right? So imagine going for lectures and I'm back. And I love to study in the middle of the night. That is where during the day I can sleep and do other things. But when it's at night, like that's where my brain basically opens up and I can properly take things in. So imagine maybe in the middle of the night, I'm trying to like study, and somebody's like, maybe the person also likes to be up and like jamming music, or is a night crawler. Like, it could drive me crazy. Or maybe I'm trying to sleep, or I'm trying to join prayers, or I'm trying to like pray with my siblings, and someone is like their music up, the volume is so high, people just doing things, or they are bringing in visitors, things like this. Or maybe you put something a certain way and they just come and scatter. Because the truth is, you might be a considerate person, but does that mean other people are considerate? Some people are not considerate. So like, your sanity is preserved if that is it. So even if if you're not being seen in certain instances, like living alone, it might probably be due to maybe the challenges of life, or somebody, maybe like the apartment complex is stressing, but at least it's not someone you're living with, because that could actually drive me crazy. I'm not saying I don't like people. I have sisters, like I've lived with people. I've also learned certain things, and I've had such experiences, right? But right now, living alone really helps you, to just be sane. And this is me being serious. Even when things are not going your way, maybe you want to cry, whatever it is, the fact that you know what, after all, I'm coming back to my space. There's some peace, there's quiet. That is fine. And that keeps you sane enough to handle whatever situation or whatever it is you're going through. You cannot now be adding what's it called? You cannot now be adding what's it called? Your flatmates or your roommates drama. I'm not saying you might not be lucky to have people that are peaceful, right? But there are certain things you cannot control. You might be the kind of, I personally, people cannot just randomly come to my house. Like, I have to invite you because I take my space seriously. So imagine if you're with someone that is maybe like a people person or doesn't mind having people around, and you can't probably just deal with that. So basically, living alone helps you to be sane. Another benefit of living alone that I really, 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 really love is that you're able to focus on your career and goals, like do everything you love to do without any distractions. I cannot even imagine being a healthcare professional and being a content creator and being someone that is really, 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 really active in church and other things. And, I want to wake up middle of the night, I'm not able to, or like there are distractions, like basically similar to what I had talked about. There are distractions, you can't read, you cannot, take that. Like now I'm filming, it's just me, it is morning, I'm like, okay, you know what, let me film. What if my person was around, the way I'm talking, I can laugh and everything, I'm able to focus on, my career, my goals, like without any stress or any worries, right? I'm able to make out and like properly plan my time and my day. If I was living with somebody, I probably would have to consider when they'll be home, when they won't be home, when they have lectures, just trying to factor in so many things. And that might hinder me from being as productive as I would, career-wise, content creation-wise, and other goals as well. For example, I just made up my mind in the course of the day, like Friday is going to be for filming. What if I had a flatmate and the person was going to be home on Friday? Or what if I had the flatmate and the person had already planned that this Friday, I want to have guests over? You would have to start adjusting things based on basically just being considerate, based on them as well, because obviously you have to consider them. Another benefit of living alone is you get to know yourself better. And I feel like this is the most important, because see, thinking about it, as a girl, as a woman, as a girl child, the way society sees us, from your parents' house, you go to school, everything, and ideally probably like after uni, you've done a lot and everything, we get a second degree, marriage, for those that are interested in marriage, right? So throughout all of this, you might not necessarily have the time to basically try to like, you might just know surface level, the things you like about yourself, but when you live alone, some of the things you even probably used to think you like, when you live alone, it will let you know that you probably do not like all of those things. You will learn, unlearn, and relearn certain things about yourself, about people. You spend time with yourself, you know your likes, your dislikes, certain things, what you can tolerate, what you can accept, what you cannot accept. And I feel like that basically also helps you to set the tone for every other relationship, plus romantic, plus friendships. Like, there are just some things why you extend grace sometimes. Just knowing the things you like, learning so much about yourself, knowing you're a big deal, you're an asset to whoever comes into your life. You're also able to work on the not so good, because no one is perfect, or the not so perfect areas of your life. That's if you're someone that is open to learning, right? I personally, guys, I have conversation with myself like, okay, oh, you shouldn't have done this way. Oh, Buki, you can actually extend more grace. Oh, Buki, and just living alone has even taught me that, what? I don't like a lot of people. I mean, I've always known that. I don't like a lot of people, but it's like, I know how I want my future home to be like. Do you understand? I have crazy ideas that come, like, just by being by myself, I'm thinking about it. And then also, just by living alone, I've been able to learn how to make certain decisions. I'm not really a fan of like, cooking and all of that, but just living alone has also equipped me with some much more like, interesting skills that I probably wouldn't have been able. I'm not saying if you live with people, you wouldn't learn certain things, but you might not be able to experiment so much and try out so many new things you want to try because you're also trying to like be considerate. Oh, this person, but when you live by yourself, you're able to experiment. You're able to do certain things. So I think it's very important that you live alone as a woman because you're able to learn things about yourself. You're able to have a better a much more proper relationship with God. I'm not saying if you live with people, you will not have a better relationship with God. But imagine living with people and you have a good relationship with God. Then imagine now living by yourself and you're someone who is so disciplined. You're open to learning and growing. Trust me, you would have, see guys, I can pray midnight. I can cry to my Father in peace. I am learning things about myself, just appreciating just being alone. So I think it is very important that you live alone because you get to learn so much about yourself. And that might even be the only time you actually get to learn so many things about yourself before moving into the next phase of your life, which might be marriage for some people, which might be motherhood for some people. Another benefit of living alone is like you're able to like figure things out. You know that when it's time to pay bills, you are the one paying bills. No one is delaying you. Do you understand? You're not waiting for anybody. You're able to control how certain things happen. Cleanliness, like I said, you're responsible for yourself, basically. You do the right things you're supposed to do. Another benefit of living alone, for example, there's some days that you're probably not in the mood to talk to anybody. Like, you're not just in the mood. Maybe life is lifing or things are happening. But just having someone in your space is like, maybe you just want to slam the door or you just want to do whatever it is you want. You're not in the mood to even talk to people. You have to, if your flatmate wants to talk to you, you have to learn how to manage your emotions. Do you understand? You can't be saying, I don't want to talk. Or there's certain things that have to do with the house. Or there's certain decisions you have to make together as flatmates or housemates. You can't say, oh, no, I don't want to do this. You have to pay bills together. Sometimes if you guys are that close and you have to do grocery shopping or even like cook together, what they want to eat might not be what you want to eat, right? So basically, in conclusion, guys, let me not bore you. I feel like it is very important. Like when I have, by God's grace, when I have a daughter, right, I would ensure that when I have children, even for my male child, right, I would ensure that they get the opportunity to stay, like to live by themselves, because I feel like it would really, 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 really help them long term, especially for the most important part to me is learning more about themselves. Like, guys, there are some days that just being here by myself, I am just crying. And I'm like, you know what? You can cry all you want, baby girl. No one is coming to save you. And it is funny because I'm laughing now. That is exactly how this conversation with myself. Baby girl, cry all you can. Only me, I will cry. Only me, I will wipe my tears. Only me, I know that I have to get my shit together because no one is coming to save me. So it has really helped me, even with the way I think, like the way I respond to certain things. Like, and I really, really, really love that for me. So if you're watching this and you're a babe, maybe you've been thinking, is it even worth it to stay? Because some people cannot stay alone when they even have the resources. Like, I don't think I can stay alone. No, you should try to. Trust me, it's going to be of a much more, like it will be much more important. Like it will be very, very important for you to live alone. Trust me, like you will not regret it. You will not regret it. You just have to like be much more open-minded, and you also have to be very, very, very security conscious because living alone as well, I will not just open my door. If someone presses my bell, I will not. If I'm not expecting, you're not coming to my house. If I'm not expecting a delivery, I am not opening the door for anybody. So that also makes me, in my family, we are very, very, very security conscious. All thanks to my dad. But living alone has really, like, I am security conscious to the core. Yeah, we've come to the end of this video. I hope you're able to learn a thing or two. You can also share with me maybe some things I have not mentioned about, like, the benefits of living alone. I would also love to learn. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications, share this content with your people, your friends, your sisters as well. Thank you, and see y'all in my next video. Bye-bye.